Jaylen Brown's a damn Sixer. What? I mean, this trade. I mean, you want to talk about a surprise out of left field destination package trade, all of the above. Well, this trade uh, is all that. Um, as after about a week or two long of Celtics essentially shopping Jaylen Brown, with it initially being to try to get Giannis, but failing, and then ultimately just shopping him to get rid of him. The Celtics finally find him a new home, and that is with uh, divisional rival, the Philadelphia 76ers. The same 76ers team that knocked out the Celtics in 7 games in the playoffs this past season. But the trade, as it goes, is that Jaylen Brown, of course, goes to the 76ers in exchange for Paul George, who's 36, a 2028 first round pick, which is a swap, essentially, but it could convert to a pick that's more favorable for the Celtics. An unprotected 2031 first and 2 second round picks in 28 and in 2030, both of which are also kind of like swaps or however that goes. So you get Paul George, 2 firsts and 2 seconds. Um, I don't know where to begin for real. I guess I'll start off with the Sixers, who come out of this trade with as huge winners. Uh, a Dawn Fleece, whatever term you want to use, it's that they absolutely won this trade. I mean, you acquire a player of Jaylen Brown's magnitude, a guy who is coming off the MVP season, MVP caliber season, who's won a Finals MVP with the Celtics, and I mean, if only really having to give up a 36-year-old Paul George and 2 future first round picks. That's it. That's all I had to give up for it, and essentially a top 10 player in this league. To pair alongside Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, and Joel Embiid to form somewhat of a big four to boost the 76ers up into the hierarchy of the Eastern Conference, going from being about in the playing 6 seed to 8 seed range to now, I think they're right in that conversation to contend to in the East. I mean, fit wise, I'm not as far as fit is concerned. That is still I'm trying to wrap my head around that. But I mean, Jaylen Brown but Jaylen Brown himself gets to go somewhere where he knows he is well wanted because they traded for him. After a couple of years saga with the Celtics, where it seemed like him and the Celtics could never, him and the Celtics organization, shall I say, could never really get on the same page. Ultimately conveying into him being traded. So ultimately, the Sixers are big winners in this trade as far as what is next for the 76ers. Well, this is up to filling out the depth and edge pieces. As while they have a very nice start lineup in a great rookie and an intriguing rookie in Phylon and a couple of other pieces, they still got some holes to fill on the bench. Uh, they signed Dean Wade last night, but they can still use some little itch and bits pieces to add. But nothing hugely major, but just some fine tuning of the roster around the edges. But this is the big acquisition of the summer, to say the least. Um, Moving on to the Celtics, there's a whole bunch of words to describe their side of things. It's confusion. Uh, why? What's your plan? A whole bunch of stuff, right? Because this trade has no sense for what the Celtics should be trying to do, and that's to be competitive and contend in the East. Because as of right now, they're not in a position to contend in the East. Uh, Having a Jason Tatum, who's coming off of an Achilles injury, and next to a Paul George, who's a bit past his prime, who is now more so better suited to be a third or fourth option on a contender, and a couple of good role players, but with how the roster is set up, it's not good enough for them to compete and contend in my eyes. Um, I don't get why they chose this trade of all trade offers I assume they got, because it was way better offers I had imagined for him. Uh, we don't know what the offers were, but I could imagine there were better offers that they could have gotten for him. Um, Maybe it's had to do with his trade market value, but I think that also can boil down to the organization themselves, and that them falling out of love in favor with Jaylen Brown, which in turn tarnishes his value. And it didn't really have much to do with him, more so the relationship, I think. And then it's like, why? And then what is their plan? Basically, this is my last point here. What is their plan? Because again, Jason Tatum is coming off a serious Achilles injury, and while he did come back last year, and you can say he got some burns, so he's not gonna be completely rusty. But I wouldn't expect to see a fully all NBA version of him until a couple months into the season, I would imagine. And I mean, if you had a guy like Jaylen Brown right next to him, it would have helped Jason Tatum get back into the swing of things even more so. But now that he's gone, uh, the pressure is right on, breathing down Tatum's neck right after he's coming back from an Achilles tear. Uh, and what else? What what is the plan for the rest of this offseason? Because I would hope to pray that this isn't the final move trade wise, because this roster, again, like I said, is far from complete looking. They need another move to be made. They need another player next to Tatum that can make a little more sense, make it a lot less worse than how it looks right now. Basically, in a nutshell, I mean, the only real only two things you can look at this trade from the Celtics end that is okay, I guess. So you get off of Jaylen Brown's massive contract, but then the caveat to that is you have to take on Paul George's contract, which is probably one of the worst in the league. But then I guess you get two additional first round picks potentially, which depending on how the 2028 first round goes, and whether that pick ends up being, it could be valuable. But in the position that the Celtics are in, I don't see the need to be wanting that many picks, to be honest. So unless they are looking to make another move, which kind of transitions to my next point, which is what's next for them. I believe what is next for the Celtics is they need to look to make another move. Basically, shopping around Derek White, who is the most who has the most value on the team, not named Jason Tatum. Um, Try to go after guys like Trey Murphy, which these two first round picks could come in handy with, because the Pelicans' asking price last reported for him is a couple of first round picks. Now, if you can use these two first round picks or so to flip to get Trey Murphy alongside Derek White, okay, now we can talk a little better about what the Celtics are doing. And the more that I think about it, that might be what they're doing. It makes sense for them to potentially use these two first round picks or whatever picks they want to use. Um, for hopefully not their own, to go after a Trey Murphy to give some additional offensive power next to Tatum, some shooting, some scoring, just to make the team make more sense. Because right now, the Celtics have got absolutely fleeced, and as of right now, this trade is looking almost historically bad for the Celtics. Up there, almost like the Luka Doncic trade. I won't say it is worse, but it's up there. I mean, it took me about 20 or so minutes once the news dropped to actually get my head out of that initial shock phase. Like, what the heck are they doing? It took me that long to, get into me actually thinking about this trade and as an analytical or, actually rational way. So ultimately, for my final grades on both ends, the Sixers get an A plus. And for the Celtics, I won't give them an F yet, because I still want to see what they do with these picks, if they can use these picks for Trey Murphy. But so for now, I'll give them a D. Now, if the off season comes and goes and they don't use these first round picks for anything of value or at all, this trade goes down to an F for the Celtics. Ultimately, this has been my analysis on the 76ers acquiring Jaylen Brown in a shocking, out of nowhere trade. I hope you have liked this video. I hope you've uh, send me your thoughts and opinions on how you feel about this trade and how it will affect both ends of the party. And well, more I should have much more consistent videos and stuff planned as the off season progresses, and I continue to find myself in this YouTube game. But I hope you continue to join me on this journey. I'm Nate Hayes, and this is another production of the 16th Man Show. And I'm signing out. Peace out.